good.
Ryan, let me ask you a question, man. We've kind of discussed the primers and stuff. We also have a 2K epoxy top coat, all right? And we've got some factory packs like Komodo Orange. In that,
When you say top coat, this is this like a base coat or a single stage?
this is a 2K epoxy.
Okay.
So this is your primer, your color, and your finish all in one. So
Get out of here with that.
that's
man.
yours. Yep.
So you don't need to do the car rep sealer, then the color, and then the car rep gloss or
You
satin.
go directly to metal, directly to plastic.
So I can give this to my
fiberglass.
mechanics, and they're not going to use whatever spray can is sitting in the cabinet. They can use this, and I'm not worried about it washing right off.
What would your mechanics use it for?
Man, spindles, control arms, calipers, rotors, drums,
Okay.
any part that comes out of the box raw,
Uh-huh.
that's what they're going to put on.
And typically before this was available, what would they put on it?
You name it. It's probably a list about yay long that I don't know anything about. And they don't
1K
want
products that don't hold up.
Absolutely. They
Can't-
don't adhere to the substrate.
Okay.
Zero corrosion resistance. It just makes them look pretty, and then we redo them in all our process to get that corrosion resistance, get them looking right and lasting. This that does all that.
Yes. And it will stand 340 degrees Fahrenheit.
Really?
Yes.
Most automotive paint's breaking down the same. So this holds with, wow, that's impressive.
So in that, brake calipers.
Yeah.
Custom colors on brake calipers.
Calipers, rotors, drums.
Yep.
Everybody sees those drums that are all pretty on the face, and then it's got this real hot, rusted out ring on the outside of them.
Absolutely. So now, suspension parts, engine bay, valve covers, firewalls. Like that's one of our premier products for firewalls is a satin black.
This,
But
yeah,
in
that'll get my mechanics out of my hair, man.
yeah. So
You guys blew the industry standard just out of the water. I mean, everything else, in my opinion, is junk compared to this, and we didn't jump through any hoops. Every mechanic shop on the planet, they all have their little blast cabinet where they're blasting parts and cleaning all the crud off of them, and the next thing they have to do is put some paint on them.
Anybody can do it. Anybody can apply it.
And this is nice. This feels like a gloss powder coated arm. This feels like a nice coated satin arm. I'm really, really ridiculously impressed, a little blown away by this product. And this is your 2K top coat.
Yes.
Easy peasy. No sealer, no primer, no etch, no this other thing, not another top coat on top of this. This is one thing, one product out of one can on here. Walk away done. And I asked the salt tank, because in our industry, that's one of the things that we test our paint is the salt bath.
Right.
Wow, like really wow. Those were impressive numbers.
Yeah. So, when it comes to the 2K epoxies, anything over 1,000 hours is considered exceptional.
Yeah.
So we're hitting 1,000, 1,500 hours with still not showing anything.
Yeah.
But when it goes back to your standard 1K products that everybody uses, everybody abuses, everybody thinks that it's doing the job, but technically it's not. A standard salt spray test with a 1K product, roughly 70 to 80 hours max, and it's fully rusted completely.
Ow.
So that's what most shops are putting on these cars and putting a Band-Aid on the project. It's going out the door, and then however short amount of time later, it's biting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, I think you mentioned it, OEM appearing. It looks like an OEM coating, but
Correct.
it's not acting like an OEM coating. That's the weld-through primers. Any collision shop on the planet, for it to pass specs, or for it to be able to pass specs, it should, you've got to coat the backside of all those panels.
Right.
And the weld-through primers. Even when you're grinding and prepping your welds, you still have to have a coating on there, because that's exactly where water's going to seep in between those panels of those spot welds, and it's going to start rusting there. And that's structural. I mean, that changes the whole integrity of the vehicle. And something that you and your entire team have beaten into me, a couple things. Distance with the spray can. It's not 3 inches, it's 6 to 10 inches. And shake the damn can. Shake the can, shake the can. This is not 5 minutes or 3 minutes. It's not 3 shakes. It's shake the hell out of that can. Think of it like this. The more you shake it, the better it looks.
So it'd be just like you mixing up clear coat or mixing up primer and not mixing it.
Giving it a swig and going, yeah, I couldn't possibly
exactly
do it.
the same.
I couldn't do
It's
it.
exactly the same concept. You know, you mix up primer, put your hardener in, and you just dump it in your gun and spray it. It's not mixed and it's not catalyzed. It's not going to catalyze
It's not
properly.
done right. I get
You've
it.
got to shake that can and get that product moving in that can and get everything mixed together to do what it's going to do, or else you're defeating the purpose.
I get it. It's gonna get in there. I promise you.
We got faith in you.
What else you got?
So we got some other stuff I want to let you look at. So we're introducing some new, some 1K stuff, more dialed in. This is going to be more dialed into the professional side, you know, collision shops, body shops, custom shops, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
It can go into the DIY side as well, but this is going to be more, it's for everybody.
Okay.
So this is going to be your,
Ooh, spray gun cleaner.
yes, sir.
Oh man, honestly, I know that gets aimed towards the professionals a lot because we're constantly cleaning our guns. But what I have noticed in my career in teaching people is the professionals know they won't sleep at night unless their gun is spotlessly clean. But the people who don't do that are actually the DIYers. So this, you got primer and paint in your gun, you just want to throw it away because you got it from Harbor Freight, just clean it with this. These are really good. The ones that I've used, I've never used this one, but they really high pressure. They've got the little straw.
Yep.
And man, they will clean the hell out of a gun quick.
So
Nice.
just like you said, the one nice thing about this, it kind of works together with some of the other stuff we have. So whether it's our e-coat, it's our epoxy e-coat, or it's our epoxy primer, or even the epoxy top coats, you know, we have a wand coming that you can attach to those products to where you're getting into the frame rails, the you know, inner structures, back of doors, whatever the case may be.
Thank you.
To where you're now coating that with the epoxy. Now you have a weld through on the back of those panels at the same time, but you can take that wand and pop it onto this gun cleaner and flush out that wand, because with being a 2K, it can clog up the wand, it can catalyze in the wand. So now pop it on here, flush it, take it off, use it over and over again.
Right. I like that a lot. I really do. And you can use that to clean all the tips for the aerosol cans, right?
Yeah. Take your tip off your aerosol can, your nozzle off, pop it on here, flush it out, good to go.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's going to be coming, as well as,
Yep, I used this. I was impressed with this. It didn't evaporate too fast. A lot of degreasers, they evaporate too fast.
right.
And you can't get it really clean really well. I liked this.
Yeah, that's where a lot of the solvent-based pre-clean, just like you said, it'll evaporate too fast and it's hard to work with. You know,
Yeah.
you have to go with it and keep applying and applying and applying. This, we've developed it so it's a little slower to where you have some workability.
Yeah, I like that. It avoids all the residue mapping and
Correct.
stuff like that you run into. I like that.
And this is our panel check.
I get you. So it's just like the panel check we're all used to. You do your body work, you do your prep work, and you want a real quick check.
Yep, but
Hit it with the panel prep.
But we've developed this where this stays open quite a long time, to where you can use it as a spray out, spray out card check, color check.
Really?
But you can also turn around and spray an entire side of a car and have the time to just sit and look and watch and see where
It's
your
not a
highs,
two-man
lows.
job anymore.
No. So
You spray here and I'll look.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. So no, it's developed to stay open, as long as you need it, and observe your imperfections, your highs, lows, whatever the case may be. And all you got to do at the end of when you're done, take a rag, wipe the bulk of it off, take an air gun, blow it, and it just evaporates and leaves no film.
There's no film, no residue, no nothing.
Nope.
Nice. That's panel check. This is one of the pro secrets. We're asked, how do you know if it's straight before you paint it? Things like this. What it does is it sheens up all your sanded surfaces to where you can really get down the profile and plane and actually see bob your head around. Everybody looks like a weirdo when they're doing that, but you can tell if it's straight long before you're in the paint booth. Nice.
Here's our top-notch adhesion promoter.
Ooh, adhesion promoter. See, as a custom painter, because we're re-clearing over and over and over again, adhesion promoter is critical to us.
Right.
Because there's, you know, the material that we're clearing over, because it's already cleared, it's already dry, it's already sanded. You're losing out on that little bit of chemical cross-linking because everything's already dry. And I've been there before where I just trusted my clear coat to hold on to those sand scratches and everything, and I had a failure, and it's catastrophic, and it just kills you because you're almost done. You're flow coating, you're almost done, you're at the finish line, and yeah, it's all coming off. So adhesion promoter in an aerosol. How's this sprayed? Because that's one of the things I've come across with adhesion promoters in aerosol cans, is their spray is just all over the place. It's like you can literally see that I used an aerosol adhesion promoter as opposed to putting it in my paint gun and just doing a nice mist coat.
So it's got to, you know, we've dialed in the fan pattern to be exactly where it needs to be. It's not over, you know, like you said, all over the place. It's a little bit tighter. But the one nice thing about it is, in my opinion, it doesn't spray super heavy, super wet.
Not
to
big
where
droplets.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's very well atomized, so it's not lane heavy. It's not giving you that impression that it's over applied to where it could take off and run on you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got more of a dry spray to it, you know, and you might think that you're not overlapping the way you should because of that, but you got to keep in mind that you are.
Yeah, that's actually what you want in an adhesion promoter. That way you can't over apply it.
Correct.
Because once you over apply an adhesion promoter, it actually does the opposite. Now it's an adhesion demoter.
Correct.
Cool.
Here's our guide coat.
Guide coat, guide coat, guide coat, guide coat. Oh, we're gonna go through gallons and gallons and cases of this stuff. One of the things I appreciate about aerosol guide coat, we use everything, anything and everything. Even if it's redundant, we'll use the powder, we'll use the liquid, we'll use aerosol. One of the things I like about the aerosol guide coats, when they're a nice guide coat, they're not too black, they're not too dense. I don't need the panel to turn black. I need it to get in all the little surface scratches, all the dirty little surprises you get in the booth. And
Well, this is going to be this is going to be perfect for you because it's got a real fine atomization as well.
Yeah.
And it is not super black. So it gives you just the right amount of color to find what you need to find without over applying, or, you know, now it looks like you've painted the whole car black or the whole panel black.
Exactly.
It's not how this is designed.
And usually, even if you're in a scenario where you're just being extra critical, and you get this thing coated deep dark black, and that's your guide coat, it doesn't work as well.
Right.
You know, if it just had like a mist coat on there, or just, you know, one pass with the powder, the heavier it is, the less you see.
Right.
Strangely enough, it shouldn't work that way, but it does.
Yeah. So this will work perfect for you.
Sweet.
We've already talked about it, but of course we always like to push it even more. Our spot blender, just like you used a little bit ago.
Yeah.
So
This is our paint booth. That's why I looked over my shoulder real quick. I'm like, do I still have some up there? Every paint booth's got adhesion promoter and spot blender in it. This is it's critical. It's critical in the industry for repairs.
well, the one thing that a lot of painters don't realize, and I push it all the time, is, you know, spot blender is typically, I'm blending out my clear coat and that's it. You know, and that's most painters' mindset, is that's all that's for.
Right.
You know, when you introduce a spot blender like that, where if you're haloing your primer, you know, you got to block your primer, but you got to scuff or block the whole panel because you have overspray.
Yeah, you got to burn.
If you would have spot blended that and created that smooth transition from the start, you're creating less work for yourself because now you're only blocking that primer. You're not blocking that whole panel.
Yep.
So then you come in and halo your sealer. You know, three things happen when you halo sealer. Either you're wet sanding it, you're scuffing it, or you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're wet sanding or you're scuffing it, that's creating more work for yourself. But if you're not doing anything, painters don't realize how far up that overspray went.
Yep.
and now they're coming in and they're base coating. Well, that base coat lays different on that sealer than it does the overspray, and now the metallics are laying different on that overspray, and you go in and clear
I've
it,
done that.
and you pull it out in the sun. What do you see?
Yeah,
You see your halo.
exactly where it was. Everything looks beautiful in the paint booth. Everybody's happy. Everybody's
Right.
great. We're done. We're good. We get it out in the booth, out in the sun, and like, yep, there it is, right there. It's a big weird circle all the way around that area.
Exactly. So you can use it on your primer. You can use it on your sealer. You can use it as a wet bed on your last coat of metallics to get that metallic to stand correctly.
Yep.
You're using it on your clear coat, and you can also, if you got a burn through on a body line or whatever the case may be, and you come in with our epoxy primer and you put down 2 light coats to seal that off, and you come in with that spot blender, now you've created no overspray.
Yep.
So
And
you
kind of have a little bit of a wet bed going.
right. So now you have no overspray, you have no scuff time, have no wet, sand time, no wet sand time. So you're eliminating processes and eliminating time for yourself.
Yeah, and you're not mucking with your surface anymore. You're
Correct.
clean, beautiful, dust-free surface. You're not just
Right.
throwing more at it.
Right. So technically you should be using spot blender every step of the way to be an insurance policy in your back pocket to get that blend and get that job done correctly the first time without having to bring in that, now I got to get back into that blend because now I see the halo or whatever the case may be. This is going to save you.
Nice. Yeah, baby. So last night, I'm a pessimistic painter, just like you are,
Right.
just like everyone else in the
Right.
industry. So I'm monkeying around with these things a little bit. I'm really impressed with both of these. This is your 2K epoxy satin. This is your 2K epoxy gloss black top coats. No sealer. We didn't use any sealer on these. This is direct to substrate, direct to bare steel. And what I did is I sandblasted these, right?
Right.
That's your optimum best prep adhesion for anything. Rattle cans, whether it's paint out of the gun, primer, paint, whatever. I'm ridiculously impressed with this. I mean, I told you the story about the mechanics and spraying parts out of the box with whatever rattle can they had sitting around. And I effectively cut them off for years now. Their aerosol area over there is barren because I said, you guys are done. You will not use the right stuff and you're driving me nuts. You guys can never paint anything ever again. And it's not like I needed the extra work, but at the same time, suspension parts and brake boosters, all the things we've already mentioned before, they have to be painted correctly or they fall apart instantly. Like the first time someone washes their car, the paint blows right off of it and it starts to rust. So after everybody left, I come in here, I'm monkeying around, and I'm just kind of poking around this stuff. I'm really impressed with the sheen, and this is, man, that is a standard sheen if I've ever seen one. And believe it or not, I'm actually in love with the satins. Just with the way they look. They look like they'll take a beating. And I'm in my head, man, this really looks like it'll take a beating. So I grab a razor blade, right? And I start with that satin. And I start scraping it away. In 1 scrape, 2 scrapes, 3 scrapes, 4 scrapes. I'm like, son of a bitch, the shit, it's really not coming off of there. It's like, just dig into it. And I'm still digging into it. Finally, I get down to bare metal. That's out of an aerosol.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I mean, that's like powder coat standards right there. So I get it. Okay, satins, they scratch a little different. They work a little different. I come over to the gloss. 1 scrape, 2 scrapes, same thing. Like, wow, I got to get in it, and I'm still barely touching the profile of this piece of metal. All the products you brought here today have been awesome. They really have been. They've either been industry standard or really exceeded.